Welcome to Beyond the Law from 2019, the last Seagal direct-to-DVD movies ever shot. Eventually, he has to make a comeback sooner or later, since Jean-Claude Van Damme has already made his somewhere, with the two DVD movies, Darkness of Man and Kill 'Em All 2, which both came out this year in 2024, by the way. But where's Steven Seagal's new movie or movies at? We all want to see that, myself included, so no matter how crappy most of those direct-to-DVD movies are, they're still fun to watch, you know? But back to Beyond the Law. The movie starts out with this van stopping at this abandoned building. Inside, two guys go in to collect a whole table full of cash. And one of the thieves shoots the guard watching it. And now we're at the title intro of the movie, just a quick 20-second intro. So we see the same two guys getting out of the van, and we see this teenager who was a driver, and his name is Chance Wilson, who was the main reason, or one of the main victims of this movie. In the next scene, we are at a high school prom party, but with no formal wear around. Here we see the protagonist, who is barely in the movie, Augustino Finn Adair, a mob boss played by Steven Seagal. I always thought he had cool movie names, Steven Seagal, that is. Yeah, it's changed a lot since Under Siege, but I still hear Casey Ryback under all that he's got going on, and, you know, he's there to talk to this guy as he wants to talk to him.
We're gonna do some more talk. Yeah.
So we're at Augustino's estate, obviously, that's where the prom party was happening, and has the meeting with him, and we see some funny acting here.
Are you going to kill me? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty laughable stuff. He doesn't even try to act here. I chuckle here a lot whenever I watch the movie. So they have a conversation about drugs. Useless conversation, has nothing to do with the story. In the next scene, we're at a club, the Razor Room, and here we see Chance Wilson again, the driver of the van, as he gets kicked out by this bouncer, Terrence, played by Patrick Kilpatrick, who was also in Under Siege 2, by the way, with Steven Seagal in the 90s. You'll see a lot of recognizable actors in this movie from past Seagal movies especially. The next scene, we see Chance Wilson back at his apartment, one of the masked thieves from the beginning, and we get to see what he looks like, one of them being Desmond Packard, played by Zach Ward, who was the son of Augustino Finn Adair, by the way, and is really there to get the money back that was stolen in the beginning, which was $50,000, because, because he thought Chance's apartment was safe enough to store the money for now. But Chance gets Desmond a beer, and one of Desmond's associates follows Chance to the fridge to make sure it doesn't do anything suspicious. And Chance tells him that the money's up there, but the money is missing, and this big guy over here starts doing some weird things here.
What the hell is he doing?
Starts beating him up because the $50,000 is now missing, and Desmond kills him. Chance. Okay, the next scene we see Augustino practicing his shooting skills, typical Steven Seagal way of holding a gun. And now he talks to his guard. Again, laughable stuff here.
Cleaned up my house after that neighbor's child came and dirtied it up, and then
Next scene, we are in an open alleyway. Judging by the look of it, looks like Los Angeles, modern day Los Angeles. And we see a drug and cash exchange, and we see this guy coming in from the left. Who's actually Detective Muntz, played by the famous DMX, who died in 2021 actually from cardiac arrest. Funny to see DMX be part of another Seagal movie, since he hated working with him in Exit Wounds from 2001. Probably got paid well for this movie. But Detective Muntz now gets a call about a murder from an apartment. The next scene, we see a guy fishing, and he is Chance Wilson's dad, actually. Frank Wilson, played by Johnny Messner, enjoying time off fishing at his cabin, who is also an ex-policeman. Detective Muntz shows up to tell ex-cop Frank Wilson that they found someone that's related to him, and takes him to that someone. Now Augustino gets a call from his guard while smoking a cigar. One of the many cigars he smokes in the movie, telling that Chance Wilson didn't show up to work last night. Yeah, he did work for Augustino the entire time. Okay, so now Detective Muntz shows Frank Wilson Chance's body and recognizes it. That's his son, Chance. And now they're having a funeral next to Frank Wilson's dead wife's grave. Now Frank speaks to his son's girlfriend, Charlotte, played by Saxon Charbino, and asks specific questions about Chance. Next scene, we see Augustino's bodyguard talking to him on the phone as he wants to know who killed Chance Wilson so that he could kill Chance's killer. Frank Wilson now goes on to see Swilly, a neighbor, played by another famous actor, Bill Cobbs. A lot of familiar faces in this movie. You'll recognize him if you've watched Demolition Man. Yeah, he actually died this year in 2024. Yeah.
Shit.
But next scene, we see Augustino sitting down with a new drug supplier, Karina, and that will be Augustino's new drug supplier.
All right, babe.
And now back to smoking a cigar. Next scene, we see Frank Wilson at a breakfast spot and seeing flashbacks of Chance Wilson and gets a refill. Now we see his, girlfriend, Ashley Millett, and he tells her he will find more information on Chance's death. Now he goes on to an open alleyway somewhere in LA and meets up with his ex-con biker and beats him up and his friends, Jason Statham style. Next scene, Frank Wilson goes to his son's apartment building and walks past these people and wants to rent out the room, which was Chance's room before. So now that he has Chance's room, he now looks around, has flashbacks of his son and some nightmares. Wakes up to use the bathroom and spots the same phone at the top and dials the nearest number, or the last number that Chance called. Okay, so now see Desmond Packard having fun with his associates, and one of them you will easily recognize as Mike Barnes from Cobra Kai, played by Sean Cannon over here, was also in the third Karate Kid movie. A lot younger back then, obviously, so he was also, I guess, a fan of Steven Seagal growing up, and maybe that's why he wanted to be in the movie, the same way Johnny Lawrence expresses his love for Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris in the first season of Cobra Kai from 2018. I think the show was still relatively new when this movie came out. But Desmond Packard gets a call from the phone. Chance Wilson left in his apartment near the ceiling before getting killed, and Desmond is now scared. So Frank looks at the fridge thinking about the alcohol that he wants to drink, since Chance brought up his alcohol addiction in the flashback earlier that I played. So now Frank is at some club where Charlotte works at, and he speaks to her, questioning her that why did she stay with Chance? Was it because of the $50,000 he had? But the bartender recognizes Frank and gets a drink, and he asks some more specific questions about Chance, and the bartender tells Frank that Chance worked for a Augustino Finn Adair, and that he can be found at the Razor Room, the same club where we saw Terrence the Bouncer, where Chance got kicked out, as well as that Desmond Packard is the son of Augustino Finn Adair, whom he had with a woman from an affair, I think, Desmond.
They're like you Dirty Harry or something, are you, Frank Wilson?
Do you, punk?
Next scene, we see Augustino Finn Adair smoking yet another cigar at the bar as he talks to his son, Desmond Packard, and wants to know the truth if he had anything to do with Chance Wilson's disappearance.
I was hoping you could kind of open up to me.
The acting, it's pretty laughable the way he's acting here. But that's what makes Steven Seagal him, right? So back at the Razor Room, as Frank Wilson's now here and tells Terrence that he would like to see a Desmond Packard and would like to speak to him outside.
You got a minute?
Now the two are outside as Frank asks Desmond about his son Chance and pretends not to know him, and that Chance called him last before getting killed. So what does Frank do? He grabs his gun and hits Desmond and walks away. Okay, so the next morning Frank meets up with Detective Muntz again, gives him Desmond Packard's gun and wants a ballistic match with the bullet that was found in Chance's body. So Muntz starts to make excuses that only certified cops are able to have that liberty and that choice to, have a ballistics match, but he walks away. Frank, that is. Next scene, we see Desmond once again, and we see Detective Muntz with his gun, Desmond's gun, and you can tell he's in all this, Detective Muntz, since he sold himself and tells Desmond he recognized his gun, but for Muntz to keep his mouth shut, he wants more cash from him. And now Muntz calls Augustino and tells him everything, that his son Desmond Packard killed the son of an ex-cop, Chance Wilson, which was Frank Wilson's son. So you can tell Detective Muntz isn't as hard-working as you think he is.
Let me talk to my people now.
What people?
But now Frank goes to see the same ex-con biker and tells him some info about Charlotte, and now he follows Charlotte to her house. Frank knows that Charlotte stole all $50,000 that was found, that was supposed to be hidden in Chance's apartment where the phone was stored initially, and now she cries. Next scene, Augustino's having a hardcore conversation with his son, and he knows he did kill Chance Wilson, and that Desmond will take care of it somehow.
I feel like I'm talking to a child.
Yeah. Okay, so back at Chance's apartment building, another nightmare, and we see Desmond and his associates ready to kill Frank Wilson, and they go in to look for Frank, but hear this. Okay, so back at the diner, we see Ashley Millett, the lawyer, telling Frank that the gun never reached ballistics and that Muntz is not even doing anything about it. He's very suspicious. So back at Frank's cabin area, we see Desmond talking to Swilly here while Mike Barnes and the others are looking for Frank. And Frank kills Mike Barnes and the guy that was beating up his son. And now Augustino's guard kills Frank Wilson, and they leave Frank Wilson to die there, but he's still alive somehow. Or we knew he was alive and is now in the hospital having more nightmares about Chance Wilson as Swilly and Ashley watch him wake up. And Detective Muntz is back for more questions. So Muntz will come back later as Ashley gives him her business card.
I don't like that fella.
Now Muntz is back with Desmond after noticing Ashley's card and that he's in deeper shit now.
Seems like your problems keep multiplying with water, Gizmo. Gizmo? Gremlins, it's a fucking movie.
Desmond is back with Augustino about Chance Wilson's murder. So far we know that Seagal is barely in the movie. I think you know why, but he's very lazy in this movie. He's not doesn't move that much, but he will have a more exciting moment later. So back at the hospital, we see Ashley and Swilly parting ways.
You're a good friend, Swilly.
And now Augustino's guard is talking with Karina, the drug supplier, and he pays her to kill Charlotte, Chance Wilson's girlfriend that stole the $50,000, as Augustino watches them from the camera. Swilly's back at home and sees Desmond walking in and kills Swilly. Desmond kills Swilly. Back at a bar, Muntz is having a drink and the guard transfers Muntz $100,000.
Get the bottle. I'll take the bottle.
And back at the hospital, Frank is now able to leave, and we see these two cops wanting to talk to him, but he thinks they're part of Augustino's crew till he notices the badge. They're actually corrupt cops, by the way, sent by Muntz. Okay, so Muntz calls Ashley, wanting to know where Frank went, but he tells Muntz he's here and wants to meet up with him, pretending he has the ballistics report about the matching bullet in Chance's body. The two now meet up, and that Muntz was the one who sent those two cops to kill Frank, and now the two have a fight amongst each other as Frank shoots Muntz. Frank now grabs his phone, Muntz's phone, and sends a text to Desmond to meet up with him. And now we see Augustino watching the recording of his guard and Karina, making a deal about killing Charlotte. Now Augustino confronts him, and this is the only acting Seagal has done in the entire movie.
What the fuck is this?
Your boss.
That's part of the life, bitch.
The best one I've seen. Yeah, intensely funny there. But, still fun to watch. So Desmond notices Muntz's card, thinking that he's here, and beats up Desmond, and gets shot by Desmond's partner and kills him. Frank now kills Desmond Packard, Augustino Finn Adair's only son, out of wedlock. We are now in the final few minutes of the movie. Frank Wilson now confronts Augustino Finn Adair, finally, and now a fight breaks between the two. Nothing extraordinary. Not like the good old movies he's done in the 90s. And before Frank gets killed, he had 911 already dialed in so that Augustino is arrested live. Lastly, we see Charlotte somewhere in LA using her phone at a motel and sees a news notification about Augustino that he was arrested for questioning and all this stuff. We now see Karina getting ready to kill Charlotte, Chance's girlfriend. So pretty much the only one who wins was Karina. Everyone else got fucked during the movie, including Augustino. The rest are dead. And we don't know what happened to Ashley Millett or even that, what's his name, that biker, that ex-con biker. But that's about it. No one really wins in this movie. But that's it. Beyond the Law from 2019. Pretty crappy, but still fun to watch. So bad that it's so good. I enjoyed it. Pretty short. Still watching, still waiting on the new Steven Seagal movie. You know, Van Damme already made his 2 new movies that I can't really find anywhere to watch. Maybe gotta have some kind of foreign subscription service to even watch those. I don't know. But that's it. See you soon. And we're gonna go back in time again, this time from Russia with Love, James Bond, 1963, with good old Sean Connery. But like, comment, and subscribe. Take care. See you soon. Watch away. Thanks for tuning in. And cheers.